Here is a DIY project that every gardener can do, and it's build a cattle panel trellis. It's one of the easiest things to do. You only need a couple of things. Cattle panel, which is usually 4 foot by 16 foot long, 4 T-posts, some wire, or some tie straps. So set your first T-post in the ground. Even though the cattle panel is 4 foot wide, I set them 3 foot 6 inches apart so that the cattle panel overlaps. Go ahead and set your next post and get those drove in the ground. You can use a post driver or a sledgehammer. Now this is easier if you have help, but what you're going to do, you're going to set these 3 posts and have those in the ground. Then you're going to take your cattle panel and push it against the others. You're going to roll it into a bow, and then this post right here is going to keep it in place till you drive your 4th post and tie it off. So on your 3rd post, what you need to do, now you see they have the teeth on the outside. You need to turn that to the inside because your cattle panel will set here. And then from your first post that you set, just move over and line up straight across from it and drive this post in the ground. Post. On this side where we set our 3rd post, this is going to support it. So all you have to do is pull and get it close to where you want it, and it'll hold it in place so we can drive our 4th post. Now with this, on this side, just take your leg and push in and line your post up to where you want it and get it started. Get it lined up and drive the post in. And the hard part is done. On this side, I like to lift the cattle panel up off the ground about 6 to 8 inches. So it's very easy to move. If you'll just push in and get your foot under it, you can raise it up to the height that you want. If you have a double arch like I'm building here, you just get them lined up and then take your tie strap and just tie them off together. And it doesn't have to be perfect when you start. Just get it close. All right, once you get that side where you want it, you can come over and you can lift up and try to get them fairly level across and then tie this side off. Now I'm using zip ties. I will come back and add wire to it once everything is done, but this will hold it in place till we get everything done. And then while you're on this side right here where they meet, go ahead and put a zip tie here. And on this side, just repeat the process. Just push in with your leg and get everything lined up and secure it with the zip tie. Once you have your 4 corners done, if you're building the double arch, come in and put zip ties around this just to line them up. It makes it look more neat and clean. It takes me about 20 minutes to do one section of these arbors. Now the beauty of these, if you put them up and you don't like them, or you don't like where they're very easy to move. They are great for growing cucumbers, pole beans, which is what I'm going to be growing on this. You can grow spaghetti squash, cantaloupe, sugar baby watermelon. Those you'll need to support. Any kind of vining crop you can grow up. So here's two more that I built for these raised beds. The process is the same. The only difference is your cattle panel will be above the top of your raised bed. This is a very efficient way of utilizing the space in your garden. Now, when I do these arches and I'm doing them on a raised bed, I set my T-post in the center versus coming into the inside of the bed. Now, I do that for a reason. I will start my cucumbers or whatever plant I'm doing on the outside and let them grow up. On the inside, I will plant different type flowers. And on the outside, I'll put a few marigolds as a trap crop. I utilize the bed as much as I can, so that's why I put those in the middle. I've added this one this year. We're going to grow tomatillos up this, and I'm sure I'm not saying that right. But I'm also going to do an experiment. I have seen people grow tomatoes up this. I normally grow them on a wire. I'm going to experiment with this with a couple of tomatoes to see how I like it. But you can use this in a straight pattern versus an arch to grow vining crops. Well, there it is, quick DIY project cattle panel arch. Now, it may not look like much right now because we are still in winter coming into spring, but use your imagination. Wait till summer gets here and all this is covered with green and your fruit are hanging down and all your flowers is around this. You will be glad you did it. The good thing about this, if you don't like how you got it set up, you can always redo it after the growing season's over. Try it one way. If you don't like it, do it another way. The main thing is be out there growing your food, because as I always say, if you grow it, you know it.